A crowd of people gathered near one of the paintings hung on the far wall. It was the best piece in the show, so it wasn't surprising. But from the sound of their voices, it wasn't the painting they were interested in. I moved toward them, curious for a distraction from standing around with trays all night. The group was mostly women, each one more beautiful than the next, and I suddenly felt self-conscious, craning my neck to see what they were so intrigued by, as if I didn't belong. A few blondes, brunettes, and a redhead who all looked like supermodels and were dressed in names I only knew from magazines circled around someone, laughing and chattering about things I couldn't understand. Then one woman moved aside, and I saw him. He was stunning, even more gorgeous than the women that surrounded him. Over 6 feet tall with short dark hair, he wore a dark gray suit and black shirt that hung as if they were made especially for him, accentuating every well-built inch of his body. I edged myself closer, drawn to him, and saw his eyes. Deep chocolate brown, they looked as if they had seen all the things I hadn't in this world. He was wealth, opulence, and excess. A beautiful brunette hung on his arm, an appropriate accessory for such a man, like 14-karat gold cufflinks or a stainless steel Rolex. As I stood there gawking at him, I heard one of the women say his name. Tristan. In that moment, I wanted more than anything for the whole world to fade away until it was just me and him. I'd heard of love at first sight before and never believed in it. But as I watched him take up all the empty space in the room, I was in love. No, not love. Lust. He glanced over at me, and my cheeks flushed with heat. His gaze fixed on mine, brown eyes staring at me as if we knew each other intimately, as if he knew the deepest, darkest parts of me. My brain told me to look away, to break the connection, but the rest of my body rebelled. I wanted to feel those eyes on every part of me. "Nina, what are you doing?" I saw at least 3 patrons with empty glasses as I crossed the room. "Chop, chop!" Sheila barked in my ear, tearing me out of my fantasy. My boss marched away, and I watched as Tristan and his women moved on to another painting. Everything was as it should be, with everyone in their correct place. Him with a group of gorgeous women, and me with my tray of cocktail weenies. A few minutes later I watched him leave, never even knowing his last name, or what his voice sounded like.